Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. In today's video, yes, I am bringing back another Publix advice video. It is Halloween. This is not how I usually do my makeup, so happy Halloween. I know by the time I post this video though, it is not going to be Halloween, but still I thought it would be fun. And of course, I'm always thinking of you guys, always thinking of my subscribers and my YouTube and stuff, which is why even though on this holiday I decided to sit here and record and give y'all some advice. So this video is going to be aimed towards my minors. I've been getting this question a lot. By the way, yes, I know some of my gems fell off, but we're gonna disregard that. I've been getting this question a lot from my minors, and it's always like, what are the rules and regulations? Is it different than if you're over age? You know, what should we be doing? Should we be doing something extra, something less? All that, you know, just the normal questions, especially if you're a little younger, you know, you tend to have more of these questions. And I wanted to sit here and answer it and really go in depth about it, because I feel like I've done a lot of videos about Publix, but I haven't addressed the minors, and minors are completely different than if, you know, you're over 18. So I'm gonna sit here and talk to you guys about it today. So thank you guys for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because we're on a road to 5K, and it truly means so much to me, all the love and support I've been receiving up on my channel. I mean, every subscriber to me is just so special. You guys have no idea. So I just want to give you guys a special thank you. And let's just go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing for you guys to know is, if you're a minor, all right, even if you're 13, you know, because I know Publix starts hiring you at 14. So if you're 13 and you're thinking about applying, you're in the right headspace, okay? Publix is a wonderful company, especially if you start out young, because it's a company that promotes from within, meaning that the younger you start, the earlier you're gonna move up. Like, the younger you'll be by the time that you get promoted. And that's really good, because you can be earning a six-figure income. You could be retiring with millions in your bank account without having to go to college or any of that. So I would suggest that you apply to Publix as young as you can. Like, the day you turn 14, I would honestly just apply. So if you're 13 and you're curious, go ahead and do it. Sorry about that, guys. That was my brother. And if you're 14, 15, 16, 17, you're still young. You're still on time. I mean, you're on time no matter what your age is, but I would just suggest that if you're about applying, just apply. It doesn't matter what age you are, you know? And once you apply, I've done a lot of videos on how to apply, how to ace it, what to say, what to do, what to bring, what to wear, all of it. I've covered all of it, so I'm not even gonna go into too much detail on that, but that's just one of my biggest tips, is to just go for it, okay? Because a lot of people are like, oh, no one's gonna hire me at 14, no one's da-da-da. Publix is a company that hires you at 14. Take advantage. Go try, and follow my advice, because not to brag or anything, but no one has ever told me that they haven't gotten hired after following the tips I say here on my channel. That's facts. Now, let me see. The second thing that I want to tell you guys and want to inform you guys is, as a minor, honestly, it's easier to work at Publix than if you're over age. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you guys, go get your coins, because you're gonna have an easier time doing it right now. Okay, and let me tell you why. The rules and regulations for y'all is different than if you're over age, and I miss being a minor in the company. Okay, I miss it. Now, minors, okay, cannot clock in or clock out or whatever at whatever time. Like, they can't do things however it is that they want, and having restrictions on you makes the job easier. I know minors often just want freedom and liberty and stuff like that, but in a workspace, I mean, having those rules and regulations is important. So let me tell you how it really does matter. If you're over age, okay, over 18, and you were supposed to leave at 2 p.m., but someone asks you, oh, I really need you as my cashier, can you stay till 3? Technically, you are probably going to be like, you're probably going to be talked into staying until 3, and you know, you can stay a little longer than your shift and clock out and everything's fine. As a minor, they cannot ask you to stay. As a minor, you have to clock out at 2. So you go into work knowing that, I'm not saying this is, you know, how you should think, but technically you could be like, all right, I leave at 2. So regardless if I get what I need to get done or not, you still leave at 2. So y'all get where I'm coming from? As a pharmacy tech, well, you can't be a pharmacy tech if you're underage, but even as a customer service associate or a cashier or whatever, I was like, okay, damn, like, if I don't do these go backs, I can't leave. So I would try to get as much work done as possible before I left, because there's certain things that I knew I had to do before I left, okay? So if I didn't have them done by the time I was supposed to leave, I was gonna have to stay. So that's something that people who are overage have to consider and think of. But when you're underage, technically, it doesn't really matter, like, if you got it done or not. You still leave at whatever time it is that you're scheduled to leave at. Your breaks, the same way. Sometimes as a customer service associate or cashier or whatever, it would be so busy, and if you're overage, they're gonna be like, bro, just can you take your break later? Can you just not take a break? Stuff like that. As a minor, they can't ask you to do that. Ooh, did I burp, guys? Ooh, sorry. As a minor, they cannot ask you to do that. As a minor, you have to take your break at the scheduled time. Matter of fact, you have to be in the break room 2 minutes prior than the time that you have to punch out. So if your break is from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., you have to be in the break room at 12:58 p.m., okay? So, I mean, it's pretty cool because at first, you guys as minors might not think it's a big deal, but trust me, when you are like overage, like legal or whatever, or not a minor anymore, you're gonna realize you're gonna miss those things, because sometimes we have to miss our break or we can't leave on time, and as a minor they can't play you, like they can't try you like that. So I would say that that's definitely one of the cool things about being a minor. There is its downside in the sense of like you might not get as many hours, but there's definitely ways to work around that, and if you're persistent and go after it and stuff, you will get your hours. And you do also have to focus on school, because as a minor you're still in school regardless if you want to be in it or not, because it's still high school. So make sure you focus on that, and then once you turn 18 you can make your decisions. Minors, I made a video kind of dedicated on how your application should look, but I'm just going to give you guys this quick little tip. Is when you go in for your interview, one of the biggest things that you need to talk about in your interview is transportation, because that is something that managers are iffy about when hiring employees, because they're kind of like, okay, if I hire this minor, am I going to be constantly getting called out because they don't have a ride or something like that? Because obviously you probably can't drive if you're 14, 15. So managers are questioning that in their head, because a lot of times you guys are asking me like, oh, I'm a minor, what are the odds of them hiring me? If you say the right things, you're going to get hired, because why would they make a company that hires you at 14 and then not be willing to hire you? So you're gonna get hired, but you have to touch these certain points that are questions in these managers' heads. They're concerned about transportation, so that's one of the biggest things that you have to tell them. Another thing is maturity. One of the biggest things that managers would tell minors when I first got hired at the store was that if you have a problem at school or a problem at home, you have to leave that problem outside of work, because at work you're there to work. Like, they don't care. So that's a big one, because I know when you're young and stuff and you go to school and you're like, oh, I saw my boyfriend with a different girl, or like stuff like that, and it's hard to not let it ruin your day. Okay, because especially you're young and you don't have like that willpower to just let stuff go. Some of us, not all of us. And in a workplace, they do not care. So you have to be so strong and be just like, you know what? No, this is my workplace, because it would suck to get kicked out of such a good company. Like, this company is really good, and as soon as you turn 18, all these other things become accessible to you guys, which I'm telling you guys, don't risk losing the job or getting fired. Okay, talk about transportation, talk about how you're responsible, how you're mature, all of it, and you should be a-okay. Another, I guess, rule and regulation for my minors, this kind of goes for everybody, but as someone who is underage, I feel like you get looked down upon. Like, they're waiting or expecting you to act a certain way, so you really have to, I feel like, outdo yourself. And I'm not saying to overdo it, because it's also easy to take advantage of the younger generation or minors and stuff like that, and managers might try to step all over you. Don't do that. Make sure you put your foot down, but at the same token, make sure you just do your work and go. That's it. That's all you got to do your work and go. Don't let them take advantage of you, none of that. But make sure you're doing your job correctly, so that they want to move you up and they want to give you a promotion, because Publix right now wants to give the younger generation the promotions. That's who they want to be the next managers. And like, I'm, a little side note, I don't know if I'm supposed to say it or not, but that's basically what I said. Publix is looking for young employees. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that that's the only thing they're looking for. And if you're older, I would say to definitely apply because of the benefits and stuff like that. So play it to your advantage as well. But if you're young, you're going to have an easier shot at getting these promotions because you move fast. Okay? And that's something that they don't find as much in older people, I guess. And that's not me. That's just them. But I would definitely say, it's to your advantage. So take advantage, you know, go for it, do what you need to do, wear your uniform, you know, stop with the, oh, I need to look good to work. No, guys, like, just wear your uniform. I did an updated dress code on how you should be going to work. Make sure you follow that, because you don't want that to be one of the reasons why you get your attention called, okay? So that's a pretty big one. If you do punch out late, like, this is, I guess, one of the biggest ones as being a minor. If you do punch out late, Publix does get fined $10,000. So it is going to be a big deal. It is going to come up in the system. So that you will get your attention called, you will get written up, stuff like that, because like I said, they will overcharge Publix $10,000. They won't charge you, you know, they'll probably just give you a warning and you'll get away with it, and you're not going to get fired for it, but it's going to be a problem for them, and you don't want it to be a problem for them, because then they're going to have, you know, your name with a bad taste in their mouth. So make sure you punch out on time. And if a manager who doesn't really know that you're a minor, because sometimes that's what happens, a lot of these minors look older, these managers don't know, make sure you let them know, oh, I'm a minor, I don't know if it's okay for minors to stay, because I watched a video and it said it, you know, you weren't allowed to stay. And see what they tell you, because they're all going to be on the same boat as me, okay? Make sure you punch out on time and keep it up to date. Minors also wear a specific name tag. So instead of the green one, let me see, I have my green one right here. Instead of the green one that most employees at Publix, I don't know if y'all could really see, but instead of the green one that most employees at Publix use, minors have to wear a beige one. But even then, sometimes people get them confused, especially when minors be losing their stuff, and you know, sometimes just to compensate, you know, we want them to have their name tag on, we give them a green one, you know. That's just sometimes, though, not all the time. Another thing that minors do, and this is not at all the stores, but at least at my store, is that we have them sign off for, you know, when they get to work, when they go on break, and when they leave work, to kind of like remind them, and in case the managers are to get fined, they can also defend themselves. So essentially the way it works is, in customer service, there's a binder with a schedule. When you open that binder, in the little folder, there's some index cards. And the index cards, it says your name. So there's going to be like, what, 5-6 index cards. You know, there's going to be one card per minor. So it depends how many minors work in your store. And then it's going to say the time that you start working, the time of your break, and the time you leave. And you basically just have to sign, you know, like your signature or whatever, when it's time for your break, when it's time for you to leave. So that's kind of like showing Publix that we did our part. You were aware of what time you left. You were aware of what time your break is. So if you punched out at a different time, that's not really like the manager on duty's fault. That's on you, okay? Because obviously there's managers on top of managers. So your manager is probably going to be mad at you, but your manager also has a manager on top of them who's mad at your manager. So that's another thing that minors a lot of times do at our store. Now, minors obviously can't work all the hours because of school, which is also really, really lucky, because it prevents you from opening and closing. The hardest shifts are opening and closing, and specifically closing, I would say. Because when you're closing, you got to make sure everything is spotless for the next morning. So when you close, especially as a bagger, which if you're a minor, that's the only position you really qualify for, unless you're a cashier, which you have to be 16, 17 for if you want to be a cashier. You have to like clean the bathrooms, clean the cashiers, all of that. So working a mid shift honestly is pretty ideal, especially if you have school. Just work the shift right after school, and that's it, and then go home and do your homework. That's how I did it. That's what I recommend you guys to do it. And some tips and tricks, honestly, I mean, I've done other videos on this, and I feel like those tips are useful for you guys as well. But if you're watching this one, I would just say to truthfully just stay out of drama, stay focused, get your bag and go. Focus on school, then focus on work, and then go home. A lot of these coworkers are not your friends. They will backstab you when it's time to get a promotion or something like that. Like, they might be your friend forever, and then when it's time for a promotion, they backstab you. Why? Because it deals with money, and everyone is in need of money. So, I mean, just be careful, really, and I wouldn't suggest you get involved with anyone in your workspace. And yeah, just keep it professional, keep it moving. And with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and conclude today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because we're on a road to 5K. Let's get it. Thank you guys always for supporting and showing love on my channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.